It's that time of the week again here where we take a look at all the latest and greatest action here on Magic the Gathering. Now, super excited to break down all the formats as we always do in best of one and best of three. And then additionally, unfortunately, I did not find the One Ring, but it has been found. So very cool nonetheless. We've got about a week in plus in terms of Lord of the Rings, and excited to cover that new content here today. So thank you for tuning in as always, for joining me on Friday Night Meta weekly series here on the channel. Down below, you'll find the timestamps of all the things we just discussed. Additionally, we'll pull it all back together as we always do for our outtake and retrospective on the episode. And if you happen to have a question or comment throughout today, let me know. I'd love to hear you, and come swing by the Discord server, join the community there as well. All right, so here's what we got going on in terms of the meta. So obviously no changes really in terms of standard. However, it's always good to keep the pulse on this. One of the big things certainly that you can see here is in the broad range, we have lost our friends, soldiers. Soldiers are not doing as well. They're not even in the top 8, at least in terms of popularity and what's been played. Again, this is standard best of one. We do have that reset though, for June, which is always important because, or July, which always changes things. We're 2 days in, which could be part of the difference as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. It's pretty interesting to see it. Nothing going to be in Mythic right now, but again, mono white humans at the top. We got fast decks, we got Selesnya enchantments, control up there, 5-color domain, black mid-range, and mono blue tempo. Now on the right, again, really heavily dominated by those top 4. So as we can see down below here, here's all the stuff to pay attention to. If we do grab soldiers and pop that back in, you can see, look at where it's fallen. It has fallen really low in terms of that popularity and play. However, it does still have a fairly decent win rate. So we'll keep an eye on that as things continue to unfold here. But that is absolutely what's happening as we start off here in terms of the new season for July. All right, let's move over to best of 3. Best of 3, here's what we got going on. Orzhov mid-range, Selesnya enchantments, mono red aggro, dimmer mid-range, Esper Legends, Esper Control, 5-color domain, and Azor's Control. Now we see this reset and a lot of things changing up here. That Esper Control had been doing really well, going back up, mid-range going back up. So we'll keep an eye in terms of what's happening. Really, these things going back to their levels before, but the big one here, Orzhov mid-range, really performing well right now out of the gate in terms of its win rate. Something for us to pay attention to. We do see these decks here really dominating the best of 3 when we think about the top 4. All right, so that is standard what is happening in Alchemy here with Lord of the Rings, because that set has impacted, made some changes here. So right now we do have Azor's Control at the top, Rakdos mid-range, mono red burn, mono red aggro. Again, mono red aggro had certainly been dominating the scene here. So we're seeing some changes. We got Golgari mid-range in there and mono black Nazgul. Love it. And then on the right here, you can see again what's going on. Mono black Nazgul doing very good at the 10.1. And then everything else there as well. And then as we move down here, we can see what's happening, what's moving around. As we can see there, again with that reset, nice pop in terms of Rakdos mid-range. And then some of the other stuff in play. We do see those win rates over time again, but Azor's Control at the top. Interesting to see always out of the gate here for something best of 1. All right, here's what we got going on in best of 3. Best of 3, Rakdos Control, Grixis midrange, still the main 2 in that space. All right, historic. Again, what's the shakeup happening here with our Tales of Middle-earth Lord of the Rings? Well, here's what we got going on. Izzet Wizards is still on top. We got Esper Affinity in there, Rakdos midrange, Azor's Control, Selesnya, Scroll Twin, Mono Green Elves, Abzan, Sacrifice, and Dimmer Mill. So again, heavily dominated by these top 4. Really Izzet Wizards being a key one there. And again, you can see where it was really popping up. We've covered that list here on the channel. You can check it out. I really liked it. Very powerful as well. And then here you can see Selesnya Squirrel Twin getting more popular. We do see elves jumping out at the beginning, but makes sense in terms of where we're at. Boros Thopters, though, look at this. Really, really good in terms of win rate as well. So something to keep an eye on as things unfold and things change, as always. All right, so that is historic best of 1. Let's look at best of 3 here. Best of 3, we do have Rakdos midrange at the top, followed by Is It Wizards, Abzan Sacrifice, 5-color Reanimator, Jund midrange, 4-color Kethis, Mono Green Devotion, and Azorus Control. Again, dominated by those top 4. And then here, popularity over time, we do see Rakdos midrange getting very, very popular in terms of best of 3 and with some of those changes. And then here we do see that 5-color Reanimator falling off. And again, Rakdos midrange doing better, and also Is It Wizards doing a little bit better there for best of 3. So a couple things for us to keep in mind and an eye on as July continues to unfold for us. All right, Explorer it is. Here's what we got going on with Explorer. We have mono white humans at the top, Rakdos Sacrifice, Selesnya Angels, Azorus Control, Abzan Greasefang, Boros Convoke, Rakdos Midrange, and Mono Green Devotion. Now, a couple key things here. Selesnya Angels really being played. We also have Mono Green Devotion, Greasefang, Boros Convoke, and you can see the rest there. And again, there's that big pop with Selesnya Angels as we went from the end of the season into the next, and then everything else moving around. We do see that Mono White Humans, again, which has been very dominant, trading off with that Selesnya Angels, but again, taking over in that space. So that is what we have for Explorer best of 1, best of 3. Here's what we find as well. We got Azorus Control, Rakdos Sacrifice, Abzan Greasefang, Mono Green Devotion, Mono White Humans, 5-color Fires, Rakdos Midrange, and Gruul Vehicles. Now on the right here, you see some of the popularities. Again, a little bit more so in the top 5, but dominated by Rakdos Midrange, Mono Green. Here you see Rakdos Midrange though, but it fell off quite a bit. We see Mono Green, but everything's moving back up as they continue to play out. Now we do see that Azorus Control taking on, again, right out of the gate, which is interesting to see as always, when there tends to be some more favorable play towards aggro lists at a reset. So interesting there. We'll keep an eye on that as July unfolds. All right, time to check out Historic Brawl. Boom. Do we have a few things? We do. We got Aragorn in here, Sauron, and Tom Bombadil. Now, just not doing well in terms of win rates, though, but certainly lovely, lovely play. Lots of players playing them. Atraxa at the top, Ragavan in there, Rusko, Itali, been some very, very stable staples as well, and Emoti. And then as we see here again, we see that set release. We do see those decks falling off, as well as the other ones, because more players obviously moving in. Some of the other stuff starting to strengthen though. And again, here you go. You see that Ragavan falling under Rusko, popping back up. Rusko's right there. We do see similar styles here with Itali and the other ones. We do find Shelob getting up there. Something to keep an eye on as well. But everything else from the Lord of the Rings not really holding up so great in the meta, so something to keep an eye on here as we continue to move through July, but always great to see. So that pulls us all the way back for lots to cover here, lots of changes, new set for a new season for July as always, and a reset, which is fun to check out as things move around. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support as always. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we continue to grow this amazing community. Thank you to all the members and all the additional support. Lots of great ways to do that down below. Additionally, great ways to stay connected and in the know here on the channel. With that, questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you, and feel free to swing by the Discord server, join the community there. We got a ton of great Magic the Gathering content available to you here on the channel, and more headed your way all the time. With that, enjoy your happy 4th of July weekend for those of you in the US, and 4th of July, and those around the world for all the other celebrations I know that are also going on. So with that, we'll see you again soon. Enjoy the content out there. Enjoy Lord of the Rings. Let me know what you think. Bummer I didn't find it. Bummer you maybe didn't. Let me know in the comments anyway. As always, the One Ring. All right, until next time, Mythras out of here.